Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of Agoracom, in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives after they put out important news. With us today, happy to have him again because he got great news out. Bernard Tourillon, Chairman CEO of HPQ Silicon Resources, trades on the venture under HPQ, and for our friends in the US on the OTCQX, it's the big board HPQFF. For those new to the story, HPQ is a Canadian producer that's building a portfolio of unique, high-value silicon products that are needed for the coming renewable energy revolution, and they're doing it along with two renowned technology partners. More than just lip service, they've already received their first order for spherical nanomaterials from a major automobile manufacturer, undisclosed, as well as an NDA with at least two battery players. So the company is just walking the talk. They're talking the talk. Today's press release, research project for the development of silicon-based anode materials for lithium-ion batteries. Bernard, welcome back.
Thank you.
All right, so
First, let's start with the important thing. No special message with the shirt. I had to fix my air conditioning today.
So
there's no new rumors. Let's get this straight. That's the only reason.
You're not incepting anybody with any kind of message in the shirt.
No, I'm not sending subliminal messages.
Hey, so tell us, first of all, what's great here is you got now, we've always known, HPQ investors have always known that you're developing, amongst other things, you want to develop the silicon for silicon-based anode materials for lithium-ion battery. We've known that. Mm-hmm. What's great here is the addition of government involvement in terms of both money and research power and people. So what does this signify? How is this take things up a notch at HPQ Silicon?
Okay, let me just clarify a bit what you said. Okay, what HPQ wants to do, and I think we wrote that in the press release, is we want to be the silicone providers to all the anode manufacturers. Okay, so there's going to be gazillions of press releases from people saying they're in the anode business. They're going to say you're going to put silicone, they're going to put everything else. What I do not hear, do not see, do not understand, did not even hear it in the Tesla video somebody posted yesterday, is how they're going to get their silicone, okay? And what we've been learning, discovering, and doing is that silicone, okay, is going to be silicone metal, Si, just in case somebody doesn't like the pronunciation. But what that material is going to be is a very specific silicone for batteries, okay? Right now, what everybody is trying to do is adopt silicone that was used for solar, silicone that was used as feedstock for polysilicon. Everything is trying to be used. What we're developing, what makes us really unique, is we're developing a pathways to make low-cost silicone materials for batteries and other applications, but really for batteries to start off with. So every battery manufacturer, every anode manufacturer, because it's a chemical part of the business, okay, is going to have their own special recipe. So even when I send material to battery manufacturers, do not think they're going to give me any feedback, okay? They're going to say, edit NDA, shut up. If we like it, we don't like it. That's about as extent of the discussion we're going to do. What this does, okay, is it allows me to work with one of the top experts in the industry of silicone, okay? It's been used by others that are looking at a way of doing graphite silicone together and all those type of materials. And for us to develop a pathway to making silicone for batteries, and then therefore, since we will be owning the information that comes out of this, we will be able to issue a press release. So we will not be dependent on the information coming back. Well, what happens to a lot of companies is they're so want to get quickly to bed that they end up doing bad deals just to be able to say, I have a deal. This gives us the time to develop the material. Reality is there's going to be a demand for 200,000 metric tons of silicone for batteries by 2030. Okay. I still do not see, whatever I read, I still do not see a pathways how you're going to make that material. Okay. It's, it's not
outside of you guys.
Huh? Outside of us, yeah, because that's really where we're focusing. Okay, so that's very important. I'll just give an example. Is I've been talking to a company that manufactures one of the other ingredients used to make anodes. And, in our discussion, they were telling me, says, the biggest problem is we send materials to battery manufacturers and they say, yes, no, that's it. We don't know the feedback. We don't know how we can improve the material. They don't want to give it back because everybody in the battery business is so secretive.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody knows what's supposedly inside a solid state, lithium batteries. Okay. Well, I may know a bit more because I've signed a few NDAs, but that's something else. But this being said, so it's a very secretive business. What I'm able to do is I break that secret, and it's the government paying me to do it.
By the way, that's got to be a great, I don't want to call it third-party validation, but
that's a third-party validation. That is
in order to get this kind of funding, right? That you had to really go through some hoops and show the viability of what you're doing.
Yes. Just to get the money from Prima Quebec, there was a scientific community, and I think we passed with flying colors. Well, it's in reality, it's the professor, it's PyroGenesis, at the end it's HPQ too, but the technical team is second to none. We're on the right, basically, space. It's going to be very important, and now the relationship is clear. People understand what we're going to be doing. And the next step for us is to start making the material and sending it, but that's coming along.
Yeah, so that's why I want to ask you, this research project, ballpark, do you have a start time, duration, end time? Do you have any ballpark? We never want to pin you down because we know that it's a moving target, but do you have
in R&D, you can't really pin us down. The start is already done. We've already started to do some work with some material prepared by Apollon with carbon coating. So we're working on different, parallel tangent. What we're trying to do is develop the best silicone material for batteries, and what HPQ and Pyro are trying to do is make it the cheapest possible. And because at the end it's going to be price, and it's going to be able to keep the margin, having low capex. It's not going to be different than everything else in the industry. If you hear Tesla talking about their batteries, they're driving it down. How can we reduce the cost? It's going to be always cost is going to be the driven factor. What people have to realize, what makes us different, is we're not trying to adapt another technology for this. Okay, we are trying to develop a low-cost technology to make the material.
Yeah, you're shattering the status quo.
What we're adapting it from is from PyroGenesis expertise in plasma atomization, in additive materials, and those type of powders. Okay, so that's really where we're coming at this and where we're moving with this.
I'm not sure duration. How long do you expect this research project to last?
It's going to be an ongoing back and forth. I think the funds are for 2 years. Okay. But that doesn't mean we're only going to have the result at the end of 2 years. It's just that it gives us access to a technical team to do the testing. Okay. Can move forward. Like, there's no way for HPQ or Pyro to build our own laboratories to do our work internally. All right. So being able to associate yourself with a university that has, professor, postdoctorate study, doctorate study, that basically are doing all their research on silicone, working on this, which are at the cutting edge of the scientific literature on the chemistry part. That is a very important there. It's always been, we've always mentioned it, but it now reached a new level of what we're doing.
Actually, and on that note, I've highlighted a couple of statements that were in this press release, a couple of extra. In your quote, the last sentence, since we will own the data we collect, it will be and this is the part that I found interesting, very useful when we present our products to a multitude of potential buyers. Mm-hmm. So it sounds like you've already got a plan that's brewing, because that's the first time you've been really you've been specific like that we're going to be presenting our products to a multitude of potential buyers.
Well, if my business plan is to be the silicone manufacturer, that has to be my plan. It is just that.
Yeah, but you never say it. Now you're actually saying it. That
I believe I've said it before. I'm pretty sure you go through my interviews. I've basically said, and it is having this ability to basically, what I find the errors that a lot of companies do is they try to go to bed with a big guy early because it's the easiest way to get the stock moving. Okay, but it's the best way to kill yourself. What I'm trying to do is make myself sexy. I know it's impossible. Maybe I need a lot of plastic surgery and everything else, but I'm trying to make myself sexy so that everybody wants to come out and dance with me. And the way I'll be able to do this in this industry is have solid validation of the results of what our material can do under these conditions, these chemistry conditions. So then what's going to happen is every other battery manufacturer is going to start testing them, okay? And they're going to be excited to get better results. They're going to be, why don't we have any better results? So it gives us a benchmark of where it's going to be. Because, you know, if I send it to battery manufacturers, you're going to come back to me and says, okay, send me more samples. And they're going to work on their own recipes. And they might try to squeeze me. So it's not really good, but we can do something. No, trust me, cost is really one of the driving force behind battery manufacturing. I don't think people realize this. I do, because I've seen it happen in the solar business. I've seen it happen in every industry. So from the get-go, our philosophy is to be the cheapest producer. Not going to be selling the cheapest at the beginning, but I want to be the cheapest producer.
And you also say the NSiR PUREVAP developed by PyroGenesis is a game changer and solves the scalability and commercial viability issues of silicon for the lithium-ion battery market. So it sounds like you guys get more and more bold and more confident.
I've been saying that on a regular basis. It's just that now we have an additional validation. As you said, you know, these type of grants don't come out. So you have to go through scientific validation of what you're doing. Is it exciting? Is it not exciting?
How long did it take to get this? To get this.
Well,
it's two government bodies involved.
In this COVID era, I would dare to say it was a long process for multiple reasons. One of them was we just got it in the middle of COVID, so it took longer before everything lined up. And then you have to remember that there might be some IP that come out of those government grants, and sort of the companies have to agree. The company and the university have to agree on how the IP revenues could be shared. And since that is something very important, and that takes a little bit longer than just saying we're sending you material, thank you. Could they what is it? So I think in ballpark it took us about a year to finalize everything.
Wow.
Hey, this is what people don't realize. We're at an advanced cutting edge, but it doesn't work at the speed of social media. That's for sure. But this is why HPQ has built itself in a way to have multiple ongoing projects, okay? Because I understand the reality of the timeline of what we're doing. So, eventually we'll talk more about the QRR. Fume silica is starting to come online. So we'll have multiple of those projects. So there'll always be something to talk about and get people excited about what we're doing.
Well, and I was actually going to ask you if you could, since we're here, if you could update us on a couple of things, just generally speaking, not as an official update. I'm sure you're going to but everything going as expected?
Yes, if you expect snafu, situation normal, all fucked up. No, I'm just joking. But it's actually, you have to learn to expect the unexpected, what we're doing. And this being said, that question is very interesting, but we may end up talking soon again on those results. But other than that, I can't really say more.
I'm going to leave last words to you. What do you want shareholders to kind of know as a result of this and what you're seeing?
We know where we're going. We're going there. I've been doing at this long enough to understand the ups and downs and tribulation and the question marks, but we have a plan. We're executing on the plan. It's moving forward. Sometimes it may look like it's not exactly a plan, but it is.
No, I don't think it's ever looked like that. It's always looked like a plan. I mean,
yes, but reality is one of the part of the plan is changing the plan and adjusting it and moving forward. That's part of the plan.
Sure. Yeah. I don't think everyone accepts that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Bernard. Thanks for coming on to talk about this. It's a nice addendum to everything you've been doing. Nice to see the government being involved in a research for two bodies being involved in a research project with you. And I'm glad to see even the stronger, more confident language. So We'll end it there because it sounds like you're going to be back pretty soon with a couple of updates on other items. But thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thank you. Bye.
For everybody at home, you've been watching or you've been listening by podcast on Spotify, Google, Apple, or your favorite podcast platform, to Bernard Tourillon, Chairman, CEO of HPQ Silicon Resources. As you can see, trades on the venture under HPQ, and for our friends in the US, HPQFF. For those new to the story, you want to do a little due diligence, get to the Agoracom profile for the company. We've got a good summary there because we know there are a lot of moving parts, and the science here doesn't make it easy to understand everything at first blush. So we'll give you a great summary. But then, as you can see right over Bernard's head there, head over to hpqsilicon.com to do a deeper dive. We know where the renewable energy revolution is going. We know where lithium-ion batteries is going, electric vehicles, and all the different uses. And HPQ Silicon, along with their two world-renowned technology partners, are building the silicon, or developing the portfolio of silicon products that's going to be needed. What you've got to do is decide if they're going to be able to actually accomplish it. We can't tell you that. That's a decision you got to make for yourself, but do your due diligence. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.